Good morning students. We have already discussed about network and its basic components. Today we are going to talk about various aspects to be considered to draw a network and also discuss about common mistakes which usually made to draw the network. So moving forward, when we draw the network, following rules should be considered. First, flow of network shall be left to right. A network should have only one start event and one end event. There should not be any repetition of event numbers. Length of arrow has no significance. The activities must flow a logical sequence. Always avoid unnecessary dummy activities. Last, arrow should not be curved, it should be straight. Let us discuss types of error which are most frequently seen in drawing of network. Now question arises what they are. These are three types of error: looping error, dangling error, redundancy error. So for the detailed discussion, we move to next slide. So making an endless loop in a network is called looping error, which is also known as cycling error. Let's take an example of looping error. For the correct network, the direction of arrows should flow from left to right. But here activity 7 to 8 flow opposite side, which represent endless loop. So do not make such a mistake while drawing a network. Now let's go to the second common error of the network, dangling error. Every activity of the project should be complete and connected with other activities. If activity is disconnected from the network, it is known as dangling error. As you see in the figure 2, here 5 to 8 and 6 to 7 activity are disconnected from the network. So we have to avoid such mistake to draw the network. Now we talk about the last common mistake which often happen to draw network. That is redundancy error. When we do not need dummy activity and put a dummy, it is known as redundancy error. As you see in figure 3, we do not require dummy activity from 10 to 12 and we unnecessarily put there. So always keep these mistakes in mind while drawing a network. Now I am going to discuss about Fulkerson rule. Fulkerson rule tells us about leveling of network diagram. It is introduced by D.R.F. Fulkerson. According to this rule, few aspects should be kept in mind while allotting number in a network. First, to recognize event 1 as it is initial event. Then allocate the number one by one in the circle. Number must be in sequence. It means number is in ascending order like 1, 2, 3 as so on. The end event must have the highest number. Now let's understand this rule by an example. In figure 4, the ABCD as event has written in a circle. Now we have to number these event ABCD, which is shown in figure 5. Now event A is the initial event, hence we are giving it one number. Then as you see in figure 4, activity K is emerging out of event A and ending at event B. So number it as 2, which is shown in figure 5. Then L and M activities emerging out of event 2 and ending at event C and D. So here number it 3 and 4. Then For activity N, O, F, Q, R, S, T, we enter 5, 6, 7, 8 in circle. So, we can observe that here we are allocate the number in event one by one. They are in sequence. And event is the highest number, that is 8. Let us take an example of house construction project to make a network to more clear to you. Suppose we have 6 activities to construct a house. First, we make a house map and respected planning to construct a house, which is represented by activity A, and it takes 4 days. Then build a house, it is represented by B activity, it takes 58 days. Here activity B will start when activity A is complete. So A is the preceding activity of B. After building the house, we fix the doors and windows and do wiring of the house, which takes 2 and 2 days. It is represented by C and D activities. B is preceding activity of C and D. Lastly, paint the house and polish the doors and windows, which takes 1 and 1 days, and they are represented by E and F. Here C is the preceding activity of E and D is the preceding activity of F. Now we move on. Next slide. Here we draw a network of a project. Initially we find the relationship between various activities and also identify preceding and their succeeding activities. Here activity A starts and at 1 to 2 events. Activity B starts and end at 2 to 3 events. Activity B cannot start until activity A has been completed. On the other hand, we can say here activity C and D cannot start until activity B has been completed, but C and D activity can be performed simultaneously. Similarly, E and F can start after C and D activity respectively. Both E and F activity finish at the end of the event 6. So students, at the end we can conclude that network analysis technique, which helps to determine the various sequences of activities and their duration to accomplish of a project. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.